Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever time it is that you're watching this from. My name is Marvi Okoro, and I'm the founder of the Mama Boys Diary community, where we believe that whole kids make whole adults. And by extension, we believe that it takes a whole adult to raise a whole child. Why? Because you cannot give what you do not have. Today, we're going to, last week, we started a conversation around fatherhood and what God expects from them. So we're going to take our discussion further with a topic about what absenteeism, what the effect of an absentee father does to the child, and even as an adult, what memory, how does it influence the growing up of this child? So with me to discuss it is my dear friend and a partner in child education and helping children also learn. He is a father of two wonderful children, and he is also a pharmacist and an MC. So please welcome with me Mr. Ayo Badejoko. Hi, Mr. Ayo, how are you?
Hello, I'm glad to be here. Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. It's my pleasure to have you here. So we'll just dive right into our conversation for today. We're looking at the effect of absentee father. So my first question to you is, what does absentee fatherism, what does that mean? That term, absentee father, what does it mean?
Well, basically, English language, to be absent means you're not available. And now putting father to it means that the father is not available for the child. Because the role of a father means that there's no father without a child. So
That's right.
You have to graduate from being a husband to be a father when the child comes into your life. So now being a father and not being available definitely depicts and describes the term father absenteeism.
Wow. Wow. So have you ever, had any experience or counseled any child in your teaching in the times that you've taught young adults? What would you say is the effect that this absenteeism, what would be the cause? Like, what are the causes? Let's even start from there. What is the cause of absentee fatherism, if there is any word like that? What are the things that lead to someone becoming an absentee father?
Okay. Well, as a father myself, I want to see things from the angle of a fellow father.
Okay.
Because our core responsibility is to provide for your children and your family. So as a father, so your primary assignment is to fend for them, source the funds, look for how to make them comfortable. So, and for every father out there that is trying to do that, kudos to them. I know some might just be irresponsible and say, it's none of my business, they fend for themselves, nobody took care of me. But for those that truly took it upon themselves, trying to go out of their ways to make sure that they make these things work, a big kudos to them. But along the line, in the process of trying to do this core assignment that has been given to us as a father, some of us, as a matter of fact, try our best, but based on the opportunities or the circumstances beyond our control, we may not be as available as we want to. So some just imagine having to walk out of same location where your family is based. So you don't want it, but the circumstances is beyond your control and there's nothing you can do about it. So they won't be available. So usually, largely it's caused because these fathers have to go out of their way to get these things done. And as a result of fact, you can't be in two places at the same time. So eventually they tend to be absent. Yes, and I know there are some other sets of people that really don't care. They just don't care. So wherever they are, some can even be in the house and still be absent. So being absent is not a place of physical presence. Some can actually be in the house and still you don't feel their effect. So, but that is from the irresponsible side. But for responsible fathers that try their best not being at home, well, it happens, but you must always look for how to mitigate and reduce the effects on the family and the children.
So you've spoken about two different sets of absenteeism. The first set is fathers that are unavailable because of how life has made them, how their responsibilities as fathers have made them unavailable, right? Because they have to go fend for the family. Maybe, there are instances where a father will have a child abroad, have his family abroad, right? And
Yes.
then he'll be living in another country and trying to give his children. I mean, some of those people, or most of the people who do that because in their mind, they're trying to secure an amazing future for their child, right? But
Yes.
we know that the place of the father is important. In fact, the importance cannot be overemphasized. Even if, I mean, no matter the sex of your child, female children, male children, the role of the father is important. Secondly, we also believe that there is a place where a man should feel in the heart and life of his child that the wife may not adequately feel, right? So for those kind of fathers that are doing this because they are largely compelled to do so, right? We're going to come to the second group of people. But for the first group, what steps can they take to ensure that they are not losing on both sides? Because before you blink an eye, your child is grown. The impact has
So,
already been made, and you really don't know who your child is. So what steps can you take as a father who really wants to be present and available for their child?
all right. Because it's circumstances beyond their control, so they try as much as possible to look for other opportunities to meet up with those things they're expected to do. So first is being available. At least if you are not available physically, you must be available virtually. So,
Okay.
and technology has actually helped us to be able to bridge this gap right now. So if you have a father who is absent and is still giving excuses of being too busy to even be available virtually, then you know that there is a problem. So definitely, because it's so obvious, if you can't be physically available, virtually you should be available. So for fathers that truly want to do it the right way, virtual availability is very, very key. A day should never go by without your children seeing you, talking with you, and knowing about the plans and the good ideas or the good things you're planning for them. At least it must be, it necessarily must not be a very long conversation, it could be 5, 10 minutes. But at least every day there must be a level of communication. Also, that is the first part. The reason why you're not being available, which is the financial side, must not suffer. Because if father is not available and then the children are being chased out of school, then they won't be able to marry the the inconvenience for any reason. So they must not really suffer in terms of things that is essential for their development and their well-being. So, and also in their house, your being not available, at least they must see that this was brought by dad, this was sent in by dad. At least they must see a touch that their father cares. Children are moved by gifts. Their birthdays must not go by without things to show that truly my father truly cares for me, and when he's available, I know this is what he will do. And lastly, you must always plan out a time that you must come around. Give them a date in mind and let everybody work towards that date. I'll be around for Christmas, and do everything within your powers to be available for Christmas. So they are looking forward to that day. They are jotting down the things they want to discuss with daddy when it comes. They will have things they want to ask questions about, and let nothing shift it for any reason. So that helps them to put focus on all the things you are talking about. So if you come back, also plan an opportunity where they too can come around and see what you are doing, especially if you don't have any skeleton in your cupboard. So if it's possible for you to bring them down for a visit, at least you see this is daddy's office, this is where daddy stays, this is daddy's church. At least it gives them an understanding that we are working together Despite the fact that you are not available, we are on one accord and we're working to achieve a collective goal all together. But I know cases where there's a father who works in Lagos. His family is also based in Lagos on the mainland. He still works on the island. Because of traffic, he had to get another apartment on the island. Everybody is in this Lagos, so he only comes home on weekend. And even the weekend when you come home, you come on a Saturday night, and by Monday morning you're out of the house. So the question is that logical? I wouldn't want to blame him, but the question is the children have never been to his house on the island. So which raises a lot of question marks that you wonder that really is this man trying to be not available because of work, or he has other reasons why he doesn't want to be available. But I want the focus to be more centered around responsible fatherhood, because that is what we preach. If you choose to be responsible, it's your choice. But if you want to be responsible and you're trying everything within your past, being a father is sacrifice. It's not just a title that you carry the tag around and say, do you know I'm a father? Being a father is a call to service, it's a call to work, it's a call to sacrifice. Because if you understood what your parents have gone through, whether they are responsible or not, because some of us will say maybe that's how we were raised, we didn't enjoy our childhood because of what our father did to us, and that's why we just feel nonchalant about it. Whether the children like it or not, they will survive. But the question is, if your father did that, would you be justifiable now that you are knowledgeable to play that same card in the life of your children? I don't think it's justifiable. So please, it's a call to all fathers out there. We should know that being a father is a gift. A lot of people wants to be fathers, but due to one reason or the other, they don't have children of their own. And that is still not an excuse for you not being a father. You understand? Even Abraham was called a father even when there was no sight of children around him. It's a call to service, it's a mindset. So that you're already walking in that line even before the children comes in. You just go into that role even after the children come in shouldn't be difficult. So please, it's a lot of sacrifice. I know people who tend to take loan just to come back home to see their children. You understand? They don't have, but it's a sacrifice. The children is doing graduation, you pop in with a surprise, and the child is like, Dad, you came for my graduation, even though you wanted to make it a surprise. Such memories can never leave the mind of that child forever. Nothing can replace it. You can buy a bicycle today, because some people feel that if I buy gifts, at least that's covered everything. Some memorable events, nothing can wash it off. The bicycle can be stolen tomorrow, and the child has even forgotten he bought him a bicycle when he was 3 or when he was 5. But such memories, the child will cherish it a lot. So the things, in summary, the things I spoke about, what responsible fathers should do is virtual presence is very key. Communication should not be, what's this word? Delegated to somebody else to do on your behalf. It must be your sole responsibility to be doing it. You must not shortlist it to somebody else to do it for you. And lastly, you must take the sacrifice to be available on the appointed times you have agreed with them to be available.
Wow. This has been, wow. I mean, we can share the grace and go home, literally, because you've made a lot of points. I just want to ask a few more questions, and I'll let you go. So the first question I'd like to ask is, so in a situation where there are, I mean, you said something about doing something like as a rebound. Your father was unavailable, and so you felt, so let's say this young man who didn't really see his father at home, who feels that it's normal for this child or for children to be raised solely by their mother. What would you have to say to this kind of father who grew up watching his father actually, relegate the responsibility of child raising to the mom? What would you say to that father who is watching this right now, that has been in that kind of situation and is gradually tending towards doing the same for their child?
All right, so if I get you right, what should be done for those whose fathers did like practice absenteeism to them while growing up,
Yes.
right? What can they do
Yes.
differently?
What can they do differently? How? Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then they are
Okay.
gradually doing that to their own children.
Already, yeah. So the question is, now that you are knowledgeable, you now have the spirit of discernment, you know what is right from wrong. If you're a Christian, definitely the Holy Spirit will tell you what is right from wrong. So it's now left for us to now sit back and do a self-evaluation and look at how the things that we do now, are these things influenced by my upbringing? Are these things influenced by the fact that I want to do them? Are these the right thing I should do at this time? Who are your role models? Who are the father figures that you have around you that you see the way they are raising their kids that you admire? Because if you don't have anybody you are looking up to, if the only role model you have is your father, then I don't think you are going on the right course. So the first thing is for you to identify where you are. Am I on the right path? Am I not being influenced by my background or the way I was raised? So do that self-evaluation, and then you'll be able to point out and know whether what you are doing is right or wrong. Let me give you a practical example. As a child, personally, as a child, my father never celebrated a birthday. So I grew up, even till now, I see birthday as not necessary, really. So, and then, but until I married, my wife would be like, no, we have to make it memorable. We have to celebrate. And I'm like, it's just one of those days. Well, the part of me still feels that it's just one of those days. But if not for my wife, I'm sure my children, birthdays will just come like a weekday and goes. But because of what she was able to bring in to balance that side of me, because if you are a man and then you are being affected by your background, try to listen to the other side of reason. Your wife is there to balance and to complement your thoughts. You don't know
That's
it
true.
all. So whatever she says, yes, you may not totally agree with it, but that is the balance that God wants to bring into the picture and the equation.
Absolutely.
So at least even if you don't want to support, at least do not cancel or stand against it. So like I will tell my wife, yes, if you want to buy them cake, it's your money, go and buy the cake for them and all that. But the truth of the matter is that when I actually see the cake and I see them taking pictures and I see the excitement in the child, she wants to go and sleep. She said, Daddy, when I sleep, when I wake up, I'm going to be a year older, 3 days to go, 4 days to go. I feel guilty. I feel that I should be the one driving this. But maybe because of the way I was raised, and then a part of me is feeling that, well, it's not necessary. So I've done self-evaluation and I feel that it is not the right way to go. You understand? So it's for us and all intending fathers who think that their upbringing has affected them in one way or the other to do a self-evaluation, ask questions around, read books, watch movies, listen to conversations about things that surrounds this kind of discussion. It helps our knowledge-based thinking, and then we'll be able to rewrite those wrong things that we have carried over for a long time. I believe God will help
Wow.
us to be delivered in
Wow.
Jesus' name.
Amen. Wow. This was so good. This was so good. Now, what effect does
I can hear you.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so what effect does an absentee father, as an absentee husband now, what effect does it have on their marriages? Because we have already established the fact that your child actually learns from what you do. So what effect does, or how can you balance this with also being an absentee father? Because in the last thing you said, your wife helped you to reshape your paradigm. So you see this birthday thing differently. And I know that there are a lot of men, and I dare say women, who don't actually believe, a few women really, who don't actually believe in this birthday thing. And that's just a few of the other things that some people don't think is necessary. So how do you balance this absenteeism apart from just the child alone? How does it also affect your marriage, and how do you balance it so that it doesn't leave a bad memory, in the heart of the child, because our children are watching? So what's the balance?
All right. Well, like I said when I started, the reason why God brought the woman into your life is to effect a balance. the balance in every space of your life. So for the child, they want to see that balance too, because they know some things mommy will not agree with. But they need the other side that they'll be able to balance their thoughts. Or there are some
Yeah.
things that they will not agree with, but they know that if they run to the other side, they can get a balanced view. And then even if you don't have their way, they know that yes, in life you can have it sometimes and sometimes you don't have it. So, but not being available, they just have one way. And they think that the only option to doing things is just once. It's just a one-way direction, which that balance that God has instituted through marriage has not been well utilized. So being an absentee father will deprive your children the opportunity to learn that balanced view of things. That's number one. For the woman, automatically she feels, or the partner, because it may be the other party that is not available now. So if you feel that
Yeah.
you are the only one doing the work, and then you are complaining of fatigue, you are complaining of stress, or sometimes you have to be yelling to get the attention of your children, I think communication will play a bigger role in resolving some of these issues. The same way you are available for your children, the same way you try to practice virtual parenting with your children, you must be available for your partner also, because she has needs to be met, which is not only physical. Because some of us feel that when we send the dollars or when we send the clothes, we send the bone straight and we go home, and then she's in love, she's happy and all that. But she needs that balance too. So absentee fathers must learn, or husbands must learn to also try and meet the needs of the wife the best they can. As you plan to be available, sell a vision for her that this duration that I'm away for is for this period. Let her have a picture or a vision she can work with. It can't be forever. You can't tell her that I don't know when I'm coming back, but I'll come back someday. Except you're in jail, because that even in jail you know your jail time. If it's 10 years, if it's 20 years, but just selling a vision of no time is no vision at all. So
Yeah.
you need to be able to sell that time and then carry that along with your plans and how she's playing a major role in your future, because you let her know that she's a key player in your future, and then she knows that whatever she's doing now is for the good of everybody and she's not left behind. So the same things you play for your children, you must definitely do, if not double, for your partner, because if she's not happy, if she's not in good spirits, um, she can actually take a toll on the children, and even she start looking for somebody else locally, you might come back and meet nothing again eventually. So
Wow.
it's very key, because when her emotional needs are not being met, she complains about something and you just throw it off the window, thinking that it's just a period. When the period comes like that, she just start nagging and talking about things. You need to do that self-evaluation from time to time to know when it is right to pull the plug. When I mean to pull the plug, when you say that things are really getting out of hand, you must make a decision. Am I ready to lose my home? Am I ready to lose my job? Which one is more important? Because if you look at it logically, most of us will prioritize our jobs over our families. And that's why we feel that the family can wait while I make the money. But the truth of the matter is that you can have all the money eventually and then the family is gone. We know
Yeah.
celebrities whose children, we see them accusing them on social media of the way they treated their mothers right now. Now they have the money, but they don't have the family. I've seen a celebrity who wished the daughter happy birthday on Instagram, and the daughter replied, say, you're just an Instagram father. They're just, there's only on my
Wow.
birthday. Yes, I don't want to mention names. They're just here to win likes and followership because it's my birthday. You are never available. So, Mr. Man, stop bringing me to your mentions. I don't appreciate it. But the question now is
Wow.
that the man is popular, but does he have his house? Does he have his home? Does he have the family that he actually left to go and also to make ends meet? So, if you think that this being absent is taking a serious toll on your family, I think we should pull the plug. We should get to a point that you know that nothing stands between you and your family. If you have to sacrifice something, then that thing must go, not family. So if you have that at the back of your mind and you let your partner knows that you are ready to pull the plug, because I know some people that say I'm ready to come back now, and it's the woman that will be begging, please, you have 2 years to collect your residency or you have citizenship. Please wait, I will endure. But when they know that the man is willing to let go and I'm ready to come back to win my family back, they know that yes, you are in that for the good, what's it called, the corporate good of everybody, and they are ready to stay and back you all the way down.
This has been a fantastic time of discussion, and I'm really so excited about some of the details that you've highlighted. And it leaves me wondering what happens to those fathers that are absent, not because of any job or because of any, but just because their children or their families or their wives are not their priority at that time.
Sure.
There are stories that you hear that a man runs away with another girl or just ups and goes and disappears, and then 15 years later, 20 years later, he begins to try to come back into their hearts. Maybe he has realized his mistakes, or he
Yes.
has or maybe life has dealt him a hard blow and he's going back to his roots, or maybe just simply because he has repented. Like I said, he has realized his mistakes, he has repented, or who knows, he hears that his children are doing well and he wants to go and take the
And wants
glory.
to.
Yeah. So I know that this third category, for example, is usually very irritating. I used to have a nanny who worked for me. She worked for me for a while, and I was when we were having the negotiation for working for me, she said she was not going to be going home. She was going to go home only once a month. So I asked her, "What about your husband?" She said, that one, her husband. Person way no they do anything. And the guy is around. His children don't respect him. His children don't listen to his opinion, and he goes about sleeping with small girls and all whatnot. So what do you say to people like this who are watching this probably, and they are not absent because they are looking for how to make ends meet? They are absent because of, like you mentioned, irresponsibility or for their life choices. What's that thing you're going to tell them that's going to get their heart troubled tonight or whenever they listen to this, so that they begin to make a change in their behavior?
Well, it's straightforward. It's an assignment that God has given to you to father this child or to raise this family, and then you failed woefully, not because of not knowing what to do, but just because you choose not to do what is expected of you. And you can't be failing and expecting that grace will abound. You can't just continue in sin and expect that the grace of God will be available for you. So if God has given an assignment and He knows that He has given you all the resources that you need to raise that family, but you just out of carelessness or sense of irresponsibility choose to blow it. It's just a matter of time. God has given you the seed that will take care of you when you grow old, but you've thrown it away. So when you see some old people doing menial jobs in their old ages, or they are suffering alone, some may have so much money, but there's a lot of emptiness around them, is because they've not taken the right decision. They've not taken the right steps with the blessings of God around them. So if you are the type watching this right now and you have not done justice to the little glories that God has placed in your life, you still have the chance to trace your steps and then do the right thing. If just an apology will resolve some of these things, I feel if you call your wife and your children or separately and said, I know I've not done this, I've not done that, I've learned my lessons and give me the chance to do it again, I'm sure they'll be willing to listen to you. So the best time to do it right now is now, because in
Hmm.
10 years' time, these kids are growing, and with this world we are living right now, they are growing in separation with their family. They want to be independent as early as possible. So if you lose that grip now, when you need them, they will never be available for you. And you can know the implication. You just look back and just ask God to kill you. Just take me. Why am I in this world? Because you serve no purpose again. That will be the thought of your heart. But this is the best time to leave great legacies in their lives, play vital role in their upbringing. I know parents who don't have so much, but what they give to their children, money can't buy it. Understand? Their children go to public schools, but you see them that if there's a mall that opens around, they are willing to take their children around the mall, look around, take pictures, and buy pure water and go home. In their mind, they've gone for shopping. They've had that family bonding. You understand? To win the
Yeah.
shop is not does not cost you a penny. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
matter of mindset. So if you see
Mm-hmm.
that whatever that is around you is an assignment or a task that God has given to you, if you've done it well, you will reap the dividends years to come. But if you choose to blow it, the dividends also are definitely waiting for you, especially for those that choose to be responsible in their tasks as being a father or a husband in their house.
Wow, wow, wow. Uncle Ayo, this has been a fantastic and valuable time of discussion. And I hope you, who is watching, you've learned something. So if you're a woman here watching this, please send this link to your husband because he's going to gain a thing or two. I have gained a thing or two from this myself, and I'm going to sure send it to my husband. And my husband is not an absentee father. So please take everything that you have learned and put it into use, put it into practice, because that is what makes a difference. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. So until we come your way again, this is Mavi Okoro from Mama Boy's Diary. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.